Yo, what's up? This is Brendan from Counterparts. You're watching HeartSupport. I went through a lot of anxiety when I was younger as well too, where it was, you know, I was like afraid of going out and like hanging out with people, and I hated like being in groups, and yeah, I hated even like being in school. Like if I had to give like a presentation, I just like hated it because I thought that everyone was sort of looking at me, and it was very, very strange. But you know, and then sure enough, like I have a job now where everyone looks at me, you know what I mean? So I can't escape it in that regard. But yeah, no, like the depression stuff is definitely like, it's sort of like the, I guess the glue of the band, which is pretty weird to say. But you know, I still struggle with that, a lot of like the self-worth stuff and self-esteem, and it's, I don't really know where it came from. I wish I did. I wish I like had, like that's sort of like our song Witness, like that's kind of like what it's about. It's like I wish I had something to blame this on and like blame these feelings on, but I just don't, you know. And thinking about my life too, it's like I've had a good life. There's not a lot of things that went horribly wrong, like, you know, but why do I still feel like that? And I think that that's sort of like what I'm trying to combat with the band, is like I want to find a way to get better, you know. I wish I could pinpoint a day, or like I said, I wish I had something to blame it on, but I don't really. It was just kind of like one day, you know, it just started coming in waves of it's just like feeling like shit essentially, you know, and then having like, and it was so confusing to me. And I think like what I truly think is I think it was just growing up, like getting to that, you know, dealing with adult things. It's no wonder I was happy. Like my life was normal. I just like got up and went to school and did, you know, was skateboarding and stuff like that. But then when you get to your late teens and early 20s and you start having like real stresses and stuff, like, you know, like your elementary school, whatever, now it's like, oh shit, like I gotta like get good grades in high school, I gotta go to college, I need a job, I need to find a place, I have, you know, you start like you fall in love with people, you know, and like you start having these relationships, and sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. And I think that that's sort of when everything comes to a head around that age, and I think that that's just what it was for me. You know, it was definitely like starting to deal with real people problems, and maybe I wasn't ready for it. I just didn't like know how to handle it, and I think that's where when I started realizing like, okay, maybe something's not good, like whether it's me or it's like the entire world or everyone around me or whatever, like something's weird here. And that's sort of when that's when I started feeling it for sure. I've taken like the antidepressant route and stuff like that, and I hate it. It's terrible. Like, it's honest to God, the worst part about it is I just couldn't stop eating. Like, yeah, it's like, you know, you take these pills and it's like, oh, well, I was sad about this, but now I'm sad that I've gained 15 pounds and you know, like all of these, and like now I'm sad that if I miss and I forget to take a pill one day, I'm gonna have a splitting headache for 8 hours, like that sort of thing. But no, I think that anyone that I've talked to seriously about it, like they all say that counseling is sort of like in like therapy sessions, and you know, that seems to be the one thing that's like undisputed, like that helps, you know. I've never met anybody that's been like, yeah, I went to therapy, it sucked, I'm worse now, you know. It's always like they go and it's always better. I try to put all of that, like that part of my life and who I am, I try to put that into the music, so that way I have this like release, I guess, and I have this like outlet for it, so it doesn't just pool up and I like don't I have no one to talk to and anything like that. It's like, no, like now you're all forced to hear it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm upset, and the 1,000 of you that are watching us at Warped Tour, like, you're gonna hear about it right now because this is what I do. You know, and I think that with that, like being able to have that outlet, that is my method of coping with it. You know what I mean? Like that is how I deal with it head on, is because I'll just save it all for that, so that way every other hour of my day I don't have to worry about it. You know, I can just be me, and I can just joke around and have fun with my friends and make everyone laugh like I try to do all day. If I save the misery for that 30 minutes a day or whatever, I think that's like, you know, and I let it get in and I let it do its thing, but I can sort of control it when I get to pick the severity and duration of how long it sticks around, you know? Like I said, like that's sort of like the bittersweetness of our band, is I love when people can sing along, and I love when people can relate to the lyrics, but at the same time, it's like, well, that song's about wanting to die, so that 15-year-old kid feels that way too, like that sucks, you know? But if they can listen to our songs and sort of and feel better because and feel like they're not the only ones that feel like that. That's sort of what I think I've taken on as my job, is to just let people know, like, you know, you're good. Like, it happens to me too, and like, you just gotta tell people. But I know, I just counted down the minutes.